Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style. Today we're going to be talking about, should a tall man buy a 2-button or should he buy a 3-button single-breasted jacket? Okay, in case you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, I would appreciate it if you would like it down below. While you're down there, please grab our free 47-page ebook. It'll come right to you via email. And I'm also going to be linking you to an article about how to dress for tall men. Okay, this is the question that came in. Here's a question I'm kind of curious about, Antonio, and none of your articles has gone into it in detail. When it comes to single-breasted jackets, I'm not sure what's the best cut for me. I'm tall. I'm 6'6" and around 215 pounds. Thin for the most part, but a small beer gut that's easily hidden when I'm not wearing a t-shirt. So, how many jacket buttons should I be looking at? I'm currently getting a 2-button jacket right now, but I want to know if I should be looking at a 3. Thank you. He asked me not to share his name, so we're not going to go into that. But quickly, the answer is you could go with either. And there are going to be some people that are going to say, no, he needs to go with the 2. No, he should go with the 3. And when you have a debate like that and there doesn't seem to be a clear answer, it's kind of like with the black suit. There isn't a right answer. It's a matter of opinion. And, you know, I've written some pretty objective articles trying to break it down as to what it is. But the thing you want to remember is that you are tall and thin. And since you have that, the only difference you're going to see in those jackets, and I'm going with a pure 3 and a pure 2. I'm going to talk about a 2.5 a little bit later. But if you went with a pure 2-button jacket like what I have on here, what you're going to see is this V going right down here is going to be elongated on a 2, and on a pure 3, it's going to be shortened like this. Now, for a tall man, my feelings are that he should go with the 2 because whenever he brings this up right here, this V is just not going to, in my opinion, it's not going to look proportional. But I almost have to see it on the man, and I would say it even goes down to, does he normally wear a tie and a dress shirt, or is this going to be a sports jacket? He said it was going to be a suit jacket, but is it going to be something that he wears a tie with all the time? Sometimes some of us get suits, and we don't really wear ties with them all the time. So that would be some of the questions that would have to go to this. But in general, I'm going to lean towards a 2-button for a man that's 6'6", 215 pounds, and has a bit of a little belly there. Another option, though, and let's say he really wants to go with the 3, he really likes the look, because there is an advantage with the 3, and the 3 is, now, in case you don't know, with a 2-button, you never button the bottom. With a 3-button, you never button the bottom. You always button the center, and you sometimes can button the top. Now, with a 3, if you are working in law or you want a very much more kind of buttoned up look, then perhaps you want to go with a 3-button, because when you button those 2 top buttons, it's just going to give you a more formal look. And this goes back to, you know, kind of like the double-breasted. It's got a little bit higher as well. So the shorter the V, oftentimes, the more formal the look. The lower the V, it's a little bit less formal. So I can see if you're going down, if you're a consultant, if you're a lawyer, if you deal with people in New York City or a place where people wear suits a lot, then consider a 3. You know, it's, again, we're talking a very small, minute thing here. And this takes me to probably the biggest point I want you to understand, is that this question in general, if he doesn't have fit, fabric, and style already nailed, then what we're talking about here is a very small part. So if you can imagine, you nail the fit, you nail the fabric, you nail the style, you've got 80 to 90% of it down. And what we're talking about here is a small 2 to 3% thing. Now, he doesn't ever want to look at a 1-button single-breasted jacket. That's going to be for a man who's around 5'6", no taller than 5'8", or in formal wear. Then he would wear a 1-button tuxedo. 4 buttons. You see this sometimes with basketball players, and this is maybe wondering, some of you guys are wondering, why didn't I recommend a 4 or 5-button suit? Those are, honestly, they're costumes. I don't like them. They don't ever, sometimes people think if you put more buttons on it, it's going to make it look more proportional. That's not the case. If he wants to worry about proportions, he needs to be looking at the size of his lapels. He needs to be looking at the size of his sleeves. He needs to, again, focus on fit. I was talking about a 2.5. What is a 2.5? All right, I'm not wearing a 2.5 here, but a 2.5 is where you've got a 3-button jacket that is actually designed to be worn like a 2. So the idea would be the buttons you see right here, and let me see, you can see my horn button right there in the video, but this button's a little bit higher, it'd be up here, and it would be folded over. So imagine this jacket, I've got a button that's right here, I've actually got a hole right here, but the lapels are folded over naturally so that even if I could button it, but it would look like this. It wouldn't look right, the lapels wouldn't lay correctly. So that is a 2.5. And I like to make those because it's a hybrid between the two. Maybe it's for those of us that can't decide between a 2 and a 3, but that's just what I like. You're not going to see them very often on off-the-rack clothing. You may have to have it custom made. Although if you go to some finer establishments like Brooks Brothers, you're going to find that they probably do carry some 2.5s. Okay, so there was my longer answer to your probably very simple question. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you found this video useful, please like. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.